South Korea's GDP data is out today, so let's take a closer look. I'm joined by Economist with the Economist Intelligence Unit, Anwita Basu. Welcome, Anwita. So, the South Korean economy advanced 0.3% on quarter in the 3 months to December, the slowest growth since the third quarter of 2012. So, what are the main drivers here?
Well, basically, the main drivers were the fact that there was a slowdown in pretty much every important growth driver in the South Korean economy. From the expenditure side, this included consumption and exports, which, while both had positive growth, they were both they both came in at 0.4%. Quarter over quarter. So that's quite weak for these two elements of the economy, because they are the main contributors to the economy. From the production side, we had a weakness in manufacturing as well as construction, and construction came down quite sharply in the quarter. If you really consider why this is taking place, it's mainly because from the one side, consumption and consumption sentiments are quite weak. That's due to the high household debt problems. Employment growth is quite weak. Wage growth is weak. And the other side is China's slowdown. China is slowing down, and China's demand for imports from South Korea is also slowing down. So these are the two main drivers for the South Korean economy to slow down. Going forward, we expect the fiscal stimulus as well as the looser monetary policy to stimulate growth and bring it up to maybe within the range of 3.4 to 3.6% in 2015.
Earlier in the month, we saw the Bank of Korea deciding to lower interest rates to 1.75%. So now it would appear that the lowering of interest rates have not had the desired effect of boosting inflation and GDP growth. Would you agree, or is it too soon to really tell?
I think it's a bit of both. I mean, obviously, the last time they cut rates was in October, and they brought it down to about 2%, which is a historic low for the Bank of Korea. And it was the lowest since it's been in the global financial crisis in 2009. However, it obviously did not have the desired impact in the fourth quarter. Having said that, inflation, if you strip out inflation, the headline inflation figure is quite sensitive to oil prices. And since October, obviously, oil prices have fallen off quite sharply. If you strip off inflation and volatile foods, so just take core inflation, then you find that actually the figure is at 2.3%, which means that core inflation is positive, and to some extent the rate cuts have had the desired impact of keeping inflation out of deflationary spiral. I'm not implying in any way that there isn't negative output gap in the economy and that demand pull inflationary factors are not weakening, but it means that there is still some time before Korea enters into a proper deflationary spiral. Also, one must keep in mind that not only is the Korean won depreciating, but we're gonna have, sooner or later, we're gonna have a tightening in the U.S. monetary policy. When that happens, and against the background of Bank of Korea loosening monetary policy, we're gonna have a further depreciation of the won, which will also, bring in some imported inflationary pressures. So yes, I agree that it hasn't had the desired impact, and there are other problems structurally to the economy which need to be addressed before we can tackle, we can have significant growth. But having said that, the monetary policy, we've still got a long way to go before full-fledged deflation, I think.
South Korean consumer confidence out later today. What are you expecting from this data?
Well, I don't expect much to change. Obviously, last month it came in at above 100 neutral, but it was moderately above. It was at 103 as far as I remember. And this was only the headline index from households were more downbeat about the economic prospects, especially when it came to employment growth. And they are naturally downbeat because of high household debt, which keeps growing. So I don't expect this to be any different this month. There might be a slight pickup from, say, marginal pickup from 103 to 104, just purely because of the interest rate cut. But there isn't enough evidence to expect this index to rise substantially, especially as retail sales have been falling. Last month it fell by 14.5% year on year. This month it will probably continue falling. So it's consumer confidence is likely not to be very strong.
Thanks, Anwita. Great speaking with you. That's all from me here in the Dukascopy TV studios. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to click back for more exclusive interviews just like this. Bye for now.